So before we can actually introduce structures in C++, we need to familiarize ourselves with a specific problem, right? So we'll see how when we actually talk about structures, that problem is easily solved, right? So the problem that we have is that we've been using arrays so far to essentially store data, right? So essentially store people's information, people's data, right? But the problem we have with arrays is that they can only store one data type, right, per array. We can only store one data type per array, right? So suppose we wanted to store a student's name, their grade symbol or grade letter, and their marks, right? So that becomes difficult because you can imagine if some students maybe do not have a grade letter, or some have more marks than others, maybe for different reasons, maybe different modules, right? So it becomes difficult for us to keep track of which information belongs to which student, right? So that's essentially where we introduce our structures, because structures allow us to actually contain all that information for one student, right? It does not matter if it is different different data types, right? So that's essentially what structures are, right? So let's just go ahead and see how we can actually solve this problem using structures, right? So how we go about creating a structure, we go ahead and say struct, right? And then the name of the structure, right? In this case, I'm just going to say student, because that's the information that I'm going to be keeping, right? Keeping track of student information, right? And then I'm going to say curly braces, and then now we have to actually create in the variables, right? The variables, or rather we call them fields, right? But we can just say the variables of the structure, right? So remember we said what information are we going to be keeping track of? The name, right? And then we're going to have the grade symbol, the grade letter, and then I'm just going to have the marks, right? I'm just going to create an array of marks, right? I'm just going to go ahead and say maybe 3 marks per student, right? Maybe 3 modules, right? And then let's just go ahead and clear this. Right, so we've created essentially a template for each student, right? Let's see how we can actually create the information, or rather store the information for each and every single student, right? So for us to do that, we need to essentially create an object of this structure, right? So what we're going to do is say student, right? And then we're going to create the object, the name of the object, right? In this case, we can go ahead and say student1, right? Or you can even shorten it and say s1, whatever you prefer, right? And then you can go ahead and say semicolon, right? So once you have created that object, now you have access to the fields of the object, right? Or to the variables of the object, right? So but I think for future references, just it's best to say fields of the structure, right? So what we can go ahead and say student1, right? As we can see, right, once we say, right, I'm getting ahead of myself, right? But for us to actually essentially access the fields of the student, right, maybe we want to print it, or what we actually want to name, right, the student, right? What we're going to say is use dot notation. We call it dot notation. So we're going to say student1 dot, right? As we can see, as soon as we press dot, we have those features, right? All those features, they actually appear: the name, the marks, the grade letter, right? So we're going to say name, right? And in this case, we're just going to say Tumelo, and then we're just going to go ahead and say grade symbol, or the grade letter, right? And because the marks is an array, what I'm going to do is essentially I'm just going to use a for loop, right? And then so that I can just enter those marks, right? So I'm a bit lazy right now to prompt the user, but what I'm going to do is essentially just after every loop, I'm just going to say I plus 10, right? So that's going to be the mark. All right, let me just increase this to like 50, right? So I plus 50, so we're expecting 50, 51, 52, right? Just like that, right? So that's essentially how we can go about essentially assigning values to a structure, right? So if we wanted to print those values, it is essentially the same thing as similar thing to assigning the values, right? We just go ahead and say student1 name, and then we can just go ahead and print it. and then say student 2, or rather not student 2, I'm getting ahead of myself, and then just print the grade letter, and I'm just going to leave out the grades for now. Right, as we can see, right, we did give the value to Melo and the grade letter A, right? So that's essentially how we can go about creating a structure and actually giving it the values, right? So we are not only forced to create one variable, right? We can go ahead and actually let me not clear this. We can go ahead and create another student, right? We just go ahead and say student 2, right? And then we can go ahead and give student 2 their information, right? For now, I'm just going to go ahead and just keep the marks for now, right? And then we can actually enter the information for student 2, right? Let's just go ahead and do that. So we can see how we can actually also create for student 2, right? We can create an object for student 2, right? And this allows us to actually keep track of the information nicely, that is essentially packed together, compacted nicely, right? Meaning that if Tato, student 2, did not have Tato, meaning they did not have a grade letter, right? We will be able to see that, we'll be able to keep track of that, instead of just multiple arrays whereby we cannot actually keep track of multiple things, right? Right, so let's just go ahead and console log that for student 2 too. Right, as we can see, when we print for student 1, the information comes up, and then for student 2, the information comes up, right? So that's essentially how we can introduce structures, right? So this is not the only way we can initialize values, right, to a structure, or rather to an object of a structure, right? So the other way is we can go ahead and essentially do that, the creation rather, or the definition, and the initialization at the same time, right? But what is very important now is that the order matters, right? So in the first case, what we're able to do is essentially we're able to come here and say student 1 dot name, and then we can assign the value, right? And then maybe later on we can say grade letter and then assign the value, right? But if we want to assign the values immediately, the order of it matters, right? So we need to be aware, right? So we need to create, we're just going to say curly braces, right? And then enter the information, right? So essentially we're going to say Tumelo, right? So for now, I'm just going to leave out the marks. I'm just go ahead and clear that for now. But what I want to do is essentially just add an average variable, just so that I can show something, right? So if I went ahead and maybe added another string and just call it TTT, right, we can see that we run into a problem. Why? Because like I said, now the value, that rather the order matters, right? Meaning this is going to be the name, this is going to be the grade letter, and this is going to be the average, right? The average of the student, right? So this essentially needs to be a double, right? So maybe we can go ahead and do that, and we wouldn't have a problem, right? So that's essentially how we can go about creating structures and essentially assigning those values of the structures, right? So another problem that we actually end up running into is essentially if we wanted to create multiple objects, right? Meaning student 1, student 2, student 3. So I don't want to have a situation, we don't want to have a situation rather, whereby we actually have to type out student 1000, right? So that seems like a lot of work, right? So what we're going to do essentially is where we're going to introduce an array of structures, right? So we're just going to have an array of structures, with each array essentially being a structure of its own, right? So an array of what? Of structures, with each array, or rather with each array rather being a structure of its own, right? So let's see how we can actually go about doing that, right? So essentially, instead of having multiple variables, like imagine if we had like 1,000 students, we'd have to essentially type student 1, student 2, student 3, student 4, student 5. We're essentially saying that we can introduce what we call an array of structures, right? So let's see how we can actually do that, right? So we go about creating an array of structures, right? So what I'm going to do is essentially create students, right? So remember last time I was saying student, right? This time I'm just going to say students, right? Just so it makes sense, right? Because we're creating an array of students, right? So I'm just going to say students array 1000, right? Right. So the type of this array is a structure, right? You know how most of the time when we create an array, we say int, right? And then maybe we say array and we say 100, right? Meaning the type of this, the data type is going to be an integer, right? Meaning 100 integers in this case. So in this case, we're saying that we're creating 100 students, right? The type is the structure, right, which is the structure that we have created here, right? So that's essentially what we are doing, right? And then how we can go about creating an array, or rather how we can go about actually creating the students now, it becomes a bit more easier, and essentially it allows us to essentially create students even using a loop, right? So how we can go about doing that, essentially, let me just reduce this number down to 5 so that it's realistic. Right, so let's see how we can do this, right? So we can go ahead and now even use a loop and say loop int I0, right? So now instead of actually creating one student at a time, what we can go ahead and say students, right? Remember we've created an array, right? Now we can use the square brackets to essentially index into the array, right? So when we index into array, we are indexing into array 0, right? Because I is going to start at 0, right? And then we're just going to say dot name, right? And then essentially let's just go ahead and read that from the user, right? So we're going to read that from the user, and then we're going to do the same thing for, no, let's just stick to name for now. Enter student name, sorry, right? So essentially this allows us to essentially be able to create multiple student structures, right? Instead of having to name them one by one, that student 1, student 2, student 3, we can just create an array of student structures, right? Meaning every time we index into it, right, we can actually index into a row of a structure, right? So now we can let's just go ahead and compile that and see how that works. Or what I want to do is actually print the names at the end of so that's essentially what I want to do, is that after reading in the names, right, and then what I want to do is essentially just print out the names, right? Let's just go ahead and do that. Right, so let's just go ahead and do what's prompted, right? What we are prompted to do. Should have put a space, but as we can see, the names are then printed, right? Meaning the names were successfully read into our structure, right? So that's essentially how we can go about creating our structures, so that we can actually store different types of information using different types of data types, right? That's very important, the different types of data types, right? And then we have introduced how we can actually create an array of structures, right? Essentially of structures, so that we don't have to explicitly create an object every time, right? So in a case whereby we actually end up having something like this, right? Student 1,000, right? This would be very, or 10,000, right? This would be very difficult. In that case, if we know that we're expecting 10,000 students, we can just maybe go ahead and create an array of 10,000 students and let the loop do the work for us, essentially, right? So that's essentially how we can introduce student structures and work around with student structures. We have reached the end of our episode. If you enjoyed this episode, you can go ahead and leave a like, subscribe if you don't want to miss any new releases. Otherwise, cheers.